We'd like to welcome all of you to the class this morning. Brother Mike's going to open our class with a prayer, then we'll get started. Brother Mike?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and its many blessings. We thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning, Lord, not more of thy will and thy word. We ask you to be with Rick as he presents the lesson, to be with us to absorb the lesson and for better understanding. We ask you to be with the sick, especially those in the household of faith. We ask you to forgive us of our sins. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thanks, Brother Mike. Last week we were around verse 16 or 17 in the first chapter of the book of Ecclesiastes. So if you'd like to open your Bibles to that location, we'll pick up there. Verse 16 says, I communed with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And verse 17 goes along with that. And so we'll start here. When Solomon first started his reign, I don't think I read this last week, but when he first started his reign, God came to him in a dream and asked him what he could do for him, basically. And Solomon's answer is recorded in 1 Kings 3, 9 through 14. So let's look at that. 1 Kings 3, 9 through 14. That's what Solomon says when God asked him what he could give him. He says, Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this, thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but had asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. And so, in this dream, when God asked him, what would he like to have? Solomon said, a wise and understanding heart so he could guide God's people the way he should. And God said, since you didn't ask for riches or honor or the life of my enemies. Now, I didn't mention that last week, but you think about it. I'm sure there are people, when they come into power, the first thing they want to do is get rid of their enemies. And he didn't ask for that. And so God said, I'm going to give you that wise and understanding heart, but I'm also going to give you what you didn't ask for, honor and riches. There won't be any king like you. But the last thing he told him he would give him, which is long life, he made a condition. It's conditional. And you know, as we look back into the Old Testament, we know we look back there in order to learn how God dealt with man. And one of the things that we learned was when God makes a promise, he keeps it. But I think one thing that we learned here that I didn't talk about last week is, you know, God makes things conditional. He makes a promise, but quite often those things are conditional. And here he told Solomon, I'm going to lengthen your days if. That word's one of the biggest words in the English language. If you follow my commandments like your father David did. And Solomon didn't. Did for a while. And in the writings that we have from Solomon, the Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, he does emphasize the necessity to follow God's commandments. Remember, all through Proverbs, he would do that. And he's going to do it here in Ecclesiastes. But he didn't follow his own advice. And one of the worst things he did was, and this was in direct violation to God's